Hey, artsy friends. Welcome to my third composition notebook art journal. This is a black light journal. So today I'm going to start on this page right here. And I was at a thrift store and found this bin of acrylic paints for $4. So I figured there's probably $4 worth of paint in there. And what better way to test out the paints than by using them on a page? So I'm going to make like little circle swatches with the different paint colors and see which paints are still good and which paints I like. I noticed that some of the paints have dates on them. At first I was looking at them thinking, oh my gosh, these are so ancient. But then I pulled out some of my newer ones. And so I think there's a copyright date, which is probably when the company determined what their color was. And then there's also a label date. So like that yellow was from 2008. So these are some really, really old paints. But hey, that's fun. I don't know. There's something redemptive about taking something that, has been old and forgotten and was probably doomed for the trash can and seeing what I can salvage out of it. So it's kind of fun. So the background to this page was from an old, I think it's like a Betty Crocker cookbook that I got from just a thrift store bin. So if you haven't watched my channel, I take composition notebooks, like the cheap ones you get for $1, and glue pages back to back. I tear out some pages. I'm going to do a video next time I prep one because I get a lot of questions about how many pages do you rip out and how many pages do you glue together and yada yada. But I like it because of the stitch binding. So you can make it lay flat no matter what page you're working on. So even if it's kind of a thicker journal and you get that alligator mouth thing, it's pretty easy to work with because that stitch binding is so strong. You can flip the backside to whatever makes it lay flat. So that's kind of nice. And this particular journal I prepped with collage. So I did a video and shared 61 ideas for collage that you can use for projects like this or for your junk journaling or for whatever you might use it for. So I just prepped the whole journal ahead of time so that as I go through and create my art journal pages, then I already have kind of the first layer done. So some of these colors are pretty fun. I always like reading the names. So I've got two different kinds of reds. I've got tomato red and engine red. We have vibrant pink. We have fresh foliage, Hauser green medium, coffee bean, dolphin gray, pinwheel blue, bluebell, warm white, sunflower, lemon custard. What's this one? Burnt sienna. So some interesting names. Sugar plum, and then just some basic yellows and whites. So now I've used all of the new old paints, and I'm going to continue with some of my other paints that I have, just bringing in more colors. And I'm starting to get the vibe that this looks like, okay, this might be kind of gross, but when I was a kid, everybody chewed bubble gum, and sometimes you would like look under a desk and you would see all of these people who had stuck bubble gum on the back of the desk. It was really gross, but I don't know. All of these circles kind of remind me of bubble gum. So maybe I will do something with that. What am I going to do with bubble gum? In the meantime, I'm really enjoying the intuitive aspect of this phase of my page. For me, art journaling is kind of a back and forth toggle between intentionality and just intuitiveness. So by that meaning just not overthinking it, just kind of trusting your instinct and enjoying just being in the moment. And so I find this pattern here of just picking a color and just putting it down wherever my intuition tells me to, and I don't have to overthink right now at this stage what I'm doing design wise, but I am just adding more and more colors, and so it's very relaxing. I enjoy that. So I was sure to finish up with some of my black light paint to make sure that they would show up. And I just purchased the final color in my black light paint collection that they offer at Walmart. When I was grocery shopping, I was like, I can just, peruse the paint aisle. I thought, I don't have purple yet. However, as you can see right here, purple does not show up very well. It's there, but it's not as bright as the other black light colors. And purple is really not my favorite color, so I probably won't use it a lot, but now I have it. I have one more tool in my blacklight arsenal. So I'm going to continue the concept of just using a wide array. I'm combining two words. A lot of different colors. So most of my pages, I'll choose 2 or 3 colors, and those will be kind of like the main colors, and then maybe bring in black and white for contrast. But since I kind of went crazy with all the different colors, I thought, ooh, this is kind of fun. I'm going to see what else I can do with all my Posca markers. So got them all out, and I let this page sit overnight because I really wasn't sure what I was going to do next. But then I thought bringing in some like geometric lines might kind of bring like kind of a contrast of shape with all the circles in the back. And then I realized before I get too far, I want to start putting my quote in because I want it to blend in with all of these lines. And so it's there, but it's not necessarily like standing out. You just kind of have to search for it in all the lines. So I am starting, see, that's my B, but I want to try to keep the font style very similar lines, like the long skinny lines with rounded edges. And my quote is, bubblegum in a dish, how many pieces do you wish? So that was what we used to skip rope to when I was a kid. I wonder how long that's been around and if it's everywhere. Did you jump rope when you were a kid? And did you do the bubblegum in a dish, how many pieces do you wish? 1, 2, 3, 4. It was a jump rope thing. Let me know. Let me know if that was a regional or global thing. Did you do it? Okay, so I am just varying the size. This is something I think is really easy to do as far when you're lettering a title or a quote or something, and you want it to look kind of fun and funky. You can vary capitals and lowercase, and you can instead of having them all justified like on the bottom, you can justify them in different ways, like all on the top or very up and down, or there's just so many ways to do it, and then it makes it kind of easy. So okay, I'm right here, almost. My daughter comes in to start talking to me, so I have bubblegum in a, and then the D. I start talking to her, and next thing I know, I was like, oh, okay, D. I left off at D. Okay, do you, and then I was like, oh wait, bubblegum in a do you. Okay. No, that's not the way it goes. So this is like a prime example of I'm pretty sure I have ADHD, and this is how it comes into my pages. So all the words are going to be there. They're just not going to be in the proper order. So you've got to, use your imagination. So bubblegum in a dish, how many, so I'm just writing the pieces, do you, and then the do you is already there. And so how many pieces wish? Oh my goodness. So when things happen like this, you can cry about it or you can laugh. So I find it's much better to laugh at things like that, mistakes or whatever. I can pretend like I totally meant to do that. Yeah, totally. Okay, so I debated at this point to stop here, but if you know me, I rarely stop when I debate whether I should stop. I usually keep going. And I did want to make sure that I had some more glow elements under the black light, so I just got my bottles of glow paint or blacklight paint out, and so I'm just adding little dots, and then it's starting to turn into like Pac-Man. So I'm kind of getting this 80s bubblegum Pac-Man nostalgic feeling. Yeah. So after looking under the blacklight, I realized I wanted my quote to be able to be visible. So I'm just taking my squeezy bottles with my blunt tip needles, and I'm going to outline the letters. And I'm not doing it in any particular pattern other than I'm just choosing whatever paint would kind of blend well with the letter color that I have. So like the orange on the orange, like I don't really want it to pop or have contrast when you're looking at it in regular light. So, yeah, because I kind of like the way that it looks right now. So I'm a little nervous that by outlining it, I'll maybe change the vibe. I don't know. I kind of like this almost camouflaged feel. And my hand was hurting from squeezing the bottle, so I went and got a wrench and thought, oh, will this make it any easier? And it did, kind of. But it's kind of hard to keep a really steady hand when you're outlining with this tiny little tip. But it worked. Well, thanks for hanging out with me today. Hope you enjoyed watching my process and that you're inspired to go make some art and laugh at your mistakes and just have fun. So come back and see me again. Hang out with me. Go make some art. Have a blessed day.